Assalamu alaikum, everybody. How are you guys? Thanks for hopping in. And finally, we have Rolo girlfriend. I'm just kidding. Jo-
I love
Jo-
doing that.
Tori, you're most welcome, dear.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited.
You're most welcome. So today, guys, the topic of the stream is a message to Middle Eastern women, and I do not usually do that. I do not send messages to women, but because we have a female guest here, so that will be a very efficient message from women to women's. What do you think, Tori?
I agree. I think that's probably one of the most important things is having a woman speak to a woman because we don't really listen to men, at least
Yeah,
now.
yeah. Unfortunately, they prefer to
Yeah.
listen to each other more than to listen to man.
Yeah. Women don't scare me, and neither do the men that support the women that are a little bit not knowledgeable about what's going on. So
Mm-hmm.
neither of them scare me. So I'm happy to help.
Uh-huh. Okay. So, okay, we got few questions. Like to introduce yourself for our people here.
Sure.
So we will start by name, age, and dress size. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not giving Samuel.
Kevin. I thought it was Kareem.
Okay.
You know, it's funny. I
So
don't know my dress size.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's usually a question for an image consultant, huh?
I know. I'm sure he could tell me what it is. Kevin, if you're watching, let me know. I weigh 100 pounds, so I don't know what that size is. But my name's Tori,
Mm-hmm.
and I create red pill content on YouTube. I
Mm-hmm.
started doing red pill probably, it was maybe in May of this year, but I didn't really understand that what I was preaching or talking about on social media was red pill. It wasn't until I had a lot of people commenting on my videos on TikTok they were telling me to check out Rollo Tomasi. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, who is this Rollo? Who's this Italian man that everybody keeps putting in the chat?
Mm-hmm.
And he's not Italian, by the way, like a pseudonym. But so I started reading the first book, and as you can imagine, it's
The,
pretty
the
pretty
rational male,
uncomfortable.
yeah.
Yeah, it's uncomfortable. I gotta admit. But I'm 26, by the way. I feel like that's important here.
Yeah, she's
Um,
not in the epiphany phase, guys.
yeah, I'm the youngest one that I
Okay.
know of thus far. Gonna hit the wall soon, but whatever. That's my bio. But so I read The Rational Male, and then I reached out to Rollo on Instagram. And I
Mm-hmm.
was like, this is weird because that's opportunistic. And that's what the whole book is about. Women are very opportunistic in nature.
Mm-hmm.
And then one thing led to another. And now I'm like Rollo's little puppet. That's a female. I preach like the same kind of ideas. I realized that it's not just about men becoming men. It's on like a global scale with feminism, politics, and so yeah. I don't know if
Yeah.
that was a good intro.
So let people know, how did you met, like physically met Rollo Tomasi?
How I physically met him,
Yeah.
I asked him to come on the podcast, my podcast, and then
Okay.
he said, I don't, did he say yeah? He had to have or something. He was like, yeah, I could do it, but I'm going to be in Miami. And I had been flying out to Miami. Rollo, I don't know if you know this, but I flew back home. And then when he was like, yeah, Miami, I flew back again because I was like, I'm not missing this opportunity. So
Hmm.
I think Rollo thinks I was in Miami the whole time, but no, I flew back. So,
Hmm.
and then I met him in person. And honestly, when I talk about the Rational Male series, because I've read all the books now, but
Hmm.
when I talk about it, if I didn't meet Rollo and get, the long explanation of kind of where this whole idea came from, how mating strategies work, feminism, all that stuff. I don't think, and the fact that he's married, I don't think I would be so strongly influenced by it. The fact that he's married and he gets a lot of heat for it, but seriously, it's like this is not toxic masculinity that's like I hate women. It's
Hmm.
actually a good thing. Oh, I see comments. Hello.
Yeah, yeah, Dr. Wissam, he's our friend here,
Okay.
like one of the channel members and good friend of mine. He's saying that this is gonna be a shock for Arabic feminists to see a red pillar Western woman.
I know. I know.
Yeah.
I'm starting to get heat on it, but again, women don't scare me. You can't scare me. I know your agenda. So,
Mm,
and honestly, when I'll get public comments on um, TikTok, YouTube, and when I message them privately, I'm
mm,
like, I understand that you're triggered. I get it.
mm,
And then
mm,
we end up having a conversation, and then they become my subscribers. So I've been seeing a lot of women also since I started putting red pill in the title, like red pill female. I get emails constantly from women that are like, I
Oh,
want to talk about this,
that's
but I'm
strange.
scared. Yeah, but they're scared to
Mm,
speak on it. So I'm like, well, I'll take the heat. I don't care. Nothing anybody says to me really hurts my feelings. I'm very
mm,
low on neuroticism. Remember, we were talking about the
yeah,
5-factor model or whatever? Yeah. So nothing hurts my feelings, really. I think that's why I can see both sides, I guess.
that's why you can adjust like facts without giving an emotional reaction.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. So
Listen, it's like
let's talk.
uncomfortable.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about your background. Like, what did you work in your life? Like, where did you live? You lived in
Uh,
Vegas, huh?
I did. I did.
Hypergamy is in a street or it's in on Vegas, right?
I lived in, it's like Henderson, but closer to Lake Mead. Yeah, there's a lake in Vegas. I didn't
Mm-hmm.
know that. But I was by myself out there. I was homeless. Fun
Mm,
fact. But I guess you could say maybe my epiphany phase was out there, but it never had to deal with um, intersexual dynamics. It never was like that. I grew up in a mom and dad still married. How do I say that? Mom and dad still
thanks
married.
God. That's very rare in Western community, in Western society.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they fought too. But
Mm,
I say this is really important a lot on my channel. As long as there's no physical abuse, if
mm,
they're fighting a lot and they don't get along, I think the only reason that I have healthy relationships was
mm,
because they stuck together. If they broke up, like if they divorced, I think I would be on the same train as all the other
mm,
feminists. I never slept around. I get heat from this side all the time. That's cap. It's okay. I get it. I
mm.
get it. It makes sense. I would cap me too.
Yeah,
But
you know why? Like most of guys, like especially Western men,
mhm,
when they see or when they listen to a girl saying that I'm not sleeping around, do you know why they assume like it's
yes,
she's
yeah.
capping
Oh,
because
absolutely. I get it.
because that's the standard. Like and Dr. Nicholas Walfinger, like he did a huge study about, like he was analyzing a data for 30 years of
Yeah.
United States marriages, and like the percentage of virgin girls like getting married, it
Hmm.
was less than 5% in the whole like sample.
I bet you
So
it's even smaller too because they probably lied. You know what I'm saying? I think women lie and say
mm,
that, yes, I'm still a virgin, and they're not because
mm.
they're embarrassed. I would have to say that that number is probably
No,
even
no,
lower.
they was asking both, like man and woman, and like the husband
Oh,
should confirm that she's virgin too. But like that includes a woman in the 70s because it was around 30
oh,
plus year
got it.
data. So it includes like a very, let's say, traditional woman back 20 or 30 years ago. So the whole percentage is 5%. Like if you want to test really like the modern day woman, it will be less than 1%.
That's so
Yeah.
small. And
That's
that
why
goes with
guys do not
religion.
believe. That's why guys do not believe, like especially American guys do not believe. I never slept around. Really? Uh-huh.
The hoes ruined it for the real one. Damn it. They
Yeah,
really did. Yeah.
yeah.
So I
Un
understand it.
Unfortunately. Okay, so you're from like a very stable family. You worked
Yeah.
as a bartender, I believe, right?
Yeah, I did. I've been
So,
working since I was 14, but
hmm,
yeah, I know it's not really legal over here, but
hmm,
hey, my dad's like, you got to get a job. And I was like, I got to get a job. So, and you
hmm,
have to remember back when I was 14, since I'm
hmm,
26 now, 14-year-olds were acting adults, like adults. Like we were going out and we were going to places by ourselves. But that wasn't really the thing when my mom was 14. But I don't know, things were different. So I needed money. And so I
hmm.
started hostessing. And then when I was 18, I pretty privileged. This is a topic me and Donovan Sharp talked about, and we forgot to mention this part, but I got a job at a restaurant. And because I always showed up looking put together, they allowed me to bartend behind the bar. And technically, in that county, it could be legal because there's a supervisor there, but
Hmm.
it's really not legal. I don't think it is. I'm still confused about it, but I was allowed to bartend, which when I turned 21, I was offered a job downtown. And that's like the highest you can go as a
Hmm.
bartender. That's where you make, you know,
S-
$500 to $1,000 4 hours.
So, while you was a bartender, you was observing like the intersexual dynamic at the sexual
Oh yeah.
marketplace, right?
Oh yeah. That's we would do field investigations, I know is the
Hmm.
term for it now. Um, but to me, I just thought I was helping guys with game, picking up women. I didn't know that field investigations meant that they would test something, and if it didn't work, they'd be like, okay, it doesn't work. And they test something again. But I started to give them different tools, and they worked every time, every
Hmm.
guy, every type of man. So
Hmm.
I figured out what would work. And then that's kind of what drew me into studying sociology, psychology, and philosophy at college. But however, I do not plan, I should say
Hold a
this,
minute.
I do not,
That's very important. You
it,
studied psychology
I
because
did.
that helps a lot to understand like the female and male nature.
Yeah, well, I studied neuroscience. That was my
Hmm.
major. So I was
Hmm.
studying like pharmacology,
Hmm.
medications, how they act on different neurotransmitters, how gender plays a role, and
Hmm.
all of that. And then I recently switched to psychology, but I had been a mental health advocate. And when I say that, I mean I've worked in organizations
Hmm.
where I would assist the mentally ill with understanding different documents and stuff. When
Hmm.
people say a mental health advocate, they're just like, hashtag mental health. It's like,
Hmm.
no, I would have to speak to people who were delusional and try
Hmm.
to get them, and I mean, by definition, delusional, and try to get them to understand what was being presented. Like, it's a
If
very different.
if you're proficient to talk to delusional people, you are the best cure for the Western female.
I know. You know, it's funny you say that because a
Yeah.
family member of mine developed schizophrenia around that time too. And if there's one thing that I can say is the hardest thing to do on this planet, it's convincing somebody who doesn't believe they're sick that they're ill. No matter what evidence you provide, no matter if they're arrested, no matter what, if somebody has a fixed false belief, it's not about telling them or proving to them. It's about gaining their trust. And then it's a whole thing. I could go on about this, but it's gaining their trust So eventually, when you bring up the idea, they're more likely to receive it. It doesn't mean you're going to change that belief, but they might act in accordance to what you want. I hope that made sense. I know it gets really complicated because I don't want to call regular people delusional, but hey, if the shoe fits, you know?
Okay, let's jump on to another topic. Okay. When you met Donovan Sharp, you've been guest on his channel, right?
Yeah.
So I heard you saying, and that's like very unique, very rare to hear a Western female, especially young and beautiful, saying that I'm looking for a husband. That was shocking.
I know. Everybody keeps saying that.
Yeah,
I
because
don't.
usually, like girls in your age will
Yeah.
keep saying, "No, I want to explore my options. I want to travel the world. I want to make like some money. I want to just do whatever I want, except looking for a husband." She want everything in life except husband. How do you
It's
respond
like
to that?
when I hear that, it's it's something that I've struggled with for sure. Like I understand why women say that. I think women, let me know if I get too sidetracked from this question, but I think women are confusing confidence with independence. And so they want to come off as somebody that doesn't need a man. We hear that all the time.
Yeah.
But I think in like, why has that become so frowned upon? I can't survive the rest of my life without a man. I'll die. I don't know. It's like a weird, like, I'm so surprised that people want to die alone. I don't want to lead anymore. Whoever made us get jobs, your mom's a hoe. Like, seriously, I'd rather be raising babies. And that wasn't always something that I thought. But I was trying to follow what school was teaching me. And they're like, no, be independent, get your own money. I'm like, I was here to raise kids. And my mom raised me to be like that. So then I started to question my mom. And then I'd be like, okay, so it's frowned. Even today, if I see a girl that's pregnant without marriage, instantly I'm like, oh, she fucked up her life. That's still something that I think. So it's not
Definitely.
to say it's not to say that I don't think those things. Like I've been programmed from a very young age in school to see that, but then I can correct it and be like, well, wait a minute. She's somebody that we need. She's populating like the country. You know what I'm saying? But it's still, I don't know. I just want a husband. I want a
That
redheaded
yeah,
husband.
that's very usual because around we talked about that like before. 40% of
Hmm.
newborn babies in North America are born in single mother household. So that's very common in United States.
It's so scary. I can't tell if
Hmm.
women go through with babies because they think that it's going to keep a man, or if they reach the age that they realize, past the epiphany phase, if they realize they won't be able to have babies, if they're trying to, like, I'm trying to understand why women are allowing themselves to get in the predicament where children could happen, and if it's a smart choice. I'm not saying like abort the baby. I'm not saying any of that. I'm saying, why are you sleeping with somebody unprotected, whatever that means to you, and allowing those accidents to happen? And then, kind of
And
sugarcoating it.
then they will tell you it is unwanted pregnancy. What?
And then say it was the best decision. They don't regret anything. It's like, it's okay to say that I fucked up and I had a kid. Sure, the
Yeah.
kid
Take some
itself isn't
accountability.
right, but they don't see it like that. They're like, why can't you blame the man? And it's like, well, would you blame the man in court? Like, Yeah, I don't know. It's just like, I don't know if that makes sense actually, but it's like you keep blaming men for their actions in something. But if you're the sex that is so smart and making conscious decisions, why did this happen? There's always a cause. It might be you. It's okay. Just admit it. I don't know. Single moms frustrate me a little bit. Like, I love them because I love babies, but they're the ones that I think don't take accountability the most.
Teenage.
Okay. We will. Sorry. We
She
will.
was hot.
We will start this video. She's hot.
Yeah, 10.
We're not getting here because she's hot. We're getting here because she's so informative. So okay, we will respond to this video. I keep this video since years actually, and I translate it to Arabic for my people around 3 years ago, and it had like a huge reaction in the Arab society. So we will start by we will listen to this video, and I need your opinion on it. Okay. Let's start.
Dear teenage girls of the past and present, working women are actually more often jealous of and less happy than stay-at-home mums. But we told you it was the other way around. I'm sorry, we lied to you. We told you time and time again that in order to be happy, powerful, liberated, in order to have a fulfilled and purpose-driven life, and be recognised as a valued member of our society, that you have to have a lifelong, dedicated and all-consuming career.
Okay, let's stop it here. What do you think? What do you think, Tori? Is that like how like Western girls are taught since they got born?
Yeah.
Do you got the same narrative while you were growing up?
Oh, yeah. Except for my mom. But I remember specifically being in a car when I was 5 years old. And I kind of had a second mom, and she was my neighbor next door. She had a daughter my age, and they were both psychiatrists. So my mom did not work. My dad was in trades, painting. So that'll give you a little bit, hey, different socioeconomic statuses on the same block. But I said something like, I want to marry a rich guy, repeating what my mom said. And she was like, but you can make your own money. And that's a very specific time that I remember it. And I remember that I was 5. So now I'm like, okay, so where else have I heard that narrative, like be a career woman or whatever? And it's in school. It has to be in school because the teachers, there's no other way. We didn't have cell phones until maybe I was in high school. And so when I say that, it's not like we had access to the internet like the kids do now. I mean, they really do now. Like, we were hearing this from other authoritative adults. And most of the teachers were women. At least where I went to school.
So that's very familiar to you, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go on.
We started telling you this in primary school, and we ramped it up and up. To high school and beyond, we brought in female guest speakers who told you of their amazing success and happiness in engineering, science and business. But we forgot to tell you that those women who find happiness in that alone are the minority of women, and you are probably not in the minority.
That's very true. Like, she's really dropping facts like bombs.
I've never seen a woman in STEM talk to us, though. I've never, STEM careers, I never saw a woman in those careers ever speak to us.
Yeah.
So, but I know what she's saying.
Yeah, they will get you, like as a girl, as a young girl, they will get you very exceptional minority of very successful women
Mhm.
and tell you that's very easy for you to reach that position. It's
Yeah.
very easy. You can do it. Go,
Yep.
girl. You can do it. You can have it
Yeah.
all.
I was in the generation of, I don't know how you would say, like the participation trophies. You
Hmm,
know what that means? Where thank you for trying. Here's the trophy just for you trying. So
hmm,
before that, you had to be really good at something to get a trophy. So my generation is that entitled. They
hmm,
expect a trophy for just showing up. So
hmm.
there's that. But yeah, it's
That's
very much a thing.
that's training for entitlement.
We
They're
are
really
entitled.
training the entitlement in young generation. Because
I
if
think,
you just show up, we will give you a lot of things. Just show up. So when
yeah,
he do nothing in real life, he expect to get something, while
yeah,
that's not true. That's why
right.
they're so weak in real life.
Yeah. And uh, I think people assume that, you know, when you're being this country that's taking over, it's so overt. And
Hmm,
really, what they do is they train you as kids psychologically. They
hmm,
program you, and it's terrifying because you really, once you get to an like adulthood, it takes a very critical mind to be like, that was fucked up. That's
hmm.
not right. When the media is telling you all of these things you should believe. I mean, it's like psychological manipulation at a young age on a global scale. It's a big
Hmm,
deal.
hmm. This type of programming and social engineering is reaching out the Arabic society here in the Middle East. I believe I mentioned like that to you before, like through the international organization and the agreements
Yeah.
such as CEDAW and like other discrimination to gender and other things that our governments is forced to sign for them to get like such funds and money
Yeah.
and like help from this international organization. So they are using this like in a very, let's say, very toxic way. They are manipulating you. You know, they know that
Coercing.
you need this money to, for example, to provide some pure water to your people to build that
Mhm.
dam. So if you want that, you have to sign this. That's
Mhm.
very, very toxic way.
Yeah.
Don't,
It's coercion on a
hmm,
very large scale. Coercion. It's like if you want this thing, you gotta do this too. Here's some money so it doesn't feel that uncomfortable. Like that's scary.
yeah, money can make
Don't
things
do it.
come true. Yeah, yeah. Unfortunately, like the politician, like the elite of politicians who decide that, not the people.
I know. Fuck. I'm an American. I forget that. Shit. Well, do we
Okay.
like the person that's in charge by you?
Uh, what do you mean? I'm sorry.
For the people in charge? So who makes that decision?
They make that decision because they want.
No, who?
Sorry, the governments, generally speaking, that's
Okay.
who take such decisions, and they pressure the governments, not the people, because people will never apply to this. Like
Yeah.
general public will never apply to this because the vast majority is Muslims and they are
Yeah.
conservative. They don't need that. Like it's very
You
hard
don't.
to convince them. Very easy to convince their government.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That's so though.
Let's finish the video.
We taught you that happiness is freedom, and that part at least was true. But we told you that freedom was outside of the family home, and that oppression was inside the family home, and that your destiny was to break free of those chains and seek your true self. I'm sorry that we were wrong about that. We told you indirectly that you should be ashamed of being a housewife, just a housewife, that it was a dirty word, that it would waste your potential, that it was the easy way out, And those that did do that were a disappointment and were degrading themselves. And so when the time crunch came for you to choose your pathway, when you were 17, you knew that the only formula for happiness and success was in career. Then in university, we gave you the same message over and over again, so you kept going. I'm sorry that we lied to you. We lied to you because we were lied to as well. We thought we were helping you. But now we know better and we are wrong. We need to stop scorning our brighter sisters who choose to spend time with children. We used to do it because we thought they were stupid, but now we do it because we're envious of them. We're jealous and we're bitter. And it's easier to scorn them than face the fact that we made the wrong choice 10 years ago, 20 years ago. We don't know how it started, but we know that it has to end with you now. True empowerment comes from being properly informed about your choices. I'm sorry we didn't inform you.
Okay. What do you think, Tori?
I'm surprised I've never seen this video, but at the same time, I'm not surprised because of course, we're not going to see that in the media over here. That would get taken down on TikTok. But it's true. It really is true. I always felt like my mom was stupid because she was just a housewife. Every kid's mom was
Really?
working.
You used to think
Yes.
that when you was young, huh?
I used to think my mom's a fucking loser. Excuse my language. Yes. Yeah. And now she's honestly, she had it all right all along. Crazy. Wild.
Okay, I will tell you this thing is very personal about my grandmother. My grandmother was illiterate. She don't know how to read and write. Okay. And she was full housewife since she was 15. Okay. Like by today standards, she's the most stupid and like most undesirable woman in the society. Okay, let's compare her to a strong, independent woman with a career. Like, and when she's close to 40, she will never find a husband, so she will get sperm from sperm donation bank to get one child, and it's probably never gonna work. So
Probably not.
yeah, and okay, when she's 60, this strong, independent feminist that she don't need man. When she's 60 to 80, let's say, because like the woman average age lifespan is around 82 right now. So from
That's
60,
assuming that they're happy.
yeah, from 60 to 80, this strong, independent, feminist will be alone, probably in the care house for elderly people, right?
Yeah.
Watching TV and eating diet food and taking like around 50 type of tablets for her diseases.
Yeah.
That's how she gonna be. And if they lift her, if they kick her out, she will die on the street with no one beside her, right?
Right. Very
Okay,
true.
let's compare her to my grandmother. My grandmother at 60 to 80, she had around 11 daughter and son. They have like
Wow.
and she had around like 100 grandchildren, around 100 of them.
100?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, grandchildren
Incredible.
and their sons also, like the whole like family. So every weekend we used to gather in her house.
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh,
like a small army. You got me?
yeah.
And every single individual of this small army want to make something for her that make her happy. can you imagine like a small army want to
Yeah,
fulfill whatever you ask them for?
yeah. She's like a
Yeah,
queen.
of course she's like a queen. She can she can announce war actually.
Oh
You
my
know,
God, she could. Yes, the king.
but actually, like I remember her. She lived until she was 83. Like
Wow.
until the day she dies, like she will consistently find like 3 to 4 people around her, like males and females, from her sons, daughters, and grandchildren around her every time, all time. What do you need?
Mm,
Let me help you. Let me get you. What do you want? Do you want to go to
mm,
some place? So one of her sons will take her, like fly, for example, to Saudi Arabia to visit Mecca to do Umrah, or somebody will take her to other country. Somebody will take her like a picnic. The third one will
yeah,
take her to his home. The fourth one will invite her to something. Like
yeah,
let's compare her life to the life of strong, independent feminists that she don't need a man. The last
yeah.
20 years of her life. What do you
I
think?
think it's I think it's even more. It's not even just women that classify themselves as feminist. I would
Hmm,
say it's like that's a small majority, but a lot of women that don't identify as feminist are still in that category.
hmm,
Or like it's a very large number. And how do I compare them? Well, I would hate to be the woman that is a feminist. Like,
hmm.
you know, 1 in 3 women are on antidepressants. It's going to
Antidepressant.
go, yeah. And so that alone should tell you that something, your career isn't making you happy, right? We can agree on that. Like you're missing something. Not to mention, they're finding correlations between taking antidepressants and developing Alzheimer's. So
Hmm,
early, like in their 60s.
hmm.
So it's like that's a good way, the way you put it, for women to see what's going on. Like they don't see that out here. It's a very, there's like so many words, but as soon as I say one thing, I'm a pick me girl. Do you know what that means?
Hmm.
Like pick me. It's like I'm trying to please men when I say things like this, or I'm diminishing their intelligence by saying you don't have to be a career woman to be happy. They're argumentative. It's almost like, as much as I would like to tell them what's going on, they're not going to understand it until it becomes a collective effort. And I don't think it's going to turn like that because everything that men do is misogynist over here. Everything. But
Hmm.
they argue it. It's just such a, oh, I see a
That
comment.
question for you.
I get so distracted. Does Torsha believe in the concept of being submissive to the husband? Yes,
Mhm.
absolutely. As soon as I make the rules, it's done. I'm going to end up divorced. 1. 2, I don't have that. Well, maybe I do have a logical brain ish, but I don't make the rules. The thing is, my father let my mother believe that she was a head of the household, but we all knew my father was. That's the trick. It sounds a
It's
little
easy
bit
to do
like,
that if the man was smart. She will
yes,
he will make her think that it is her decision.
exactly. And
Mm,
so when you say submissive to somebody like me, it's like, okay, first of all, anytime a woman says first of all, nothing good is coming from it. I'll say that. No, like first of all, I'll I used to think submissive was a bad thing. I used to think, well, why do I have to listen to a man? I'll be the first one to admit that. I used to say, what are men good for? It wasn't until, did I ever have like a self-destructive past? No, but I also had a strong male figure, my father. So,
mm,
but given, let's say my dad wasn't there, I would have made the worst choices, thinking that they were socially correct. Socially. I spent so much money to go to school, never graduated with a degree. And that's a lot of women too. A lot of women go to school. Luckily I didn't pull out loans, but a lot of girls do. Because they're like, I can do this, I can do that. But, submission, I know this seems like it's all over the place, but submission comes in so many different forms. And the most powerful thing you can do as a woman is allowing somebody else to take the power over you, to make the decision. Because in like the grand scheme of things, when somebody's submissive, it means I allow you to have the control. But at the end of the day, you have the control to make that decision. Does that make sense? It's like you're not
It is.
lesser.
It is, but like I will formulate it by another way. It is not very difficult to submit to someone's leadership if you believe he is a good leader. Even we as a man, we do that in our life. Like because stupid feminists will think, this man, they just want power. They all want power. And it is not about power. It's about the functionality of any society. There have to be hierarchies. So when I, as a man, in some of these forms of hierarchy in a business or in a, let's say in government, in the family, also in the tribe, if it was like a extended family, very extended family, as a tribe or big family. So you have to understand your position, and you have to submit to the leader if he was a good leader. And we do understand that very easily as a man. Like we understand it more than women. Women try to, no, we need everybody to be equal, everybody to have his opinion.
That is not going to work.
Yeah, it's not going to work.
Egalitarianism. It's shown to not work, but they don't want to admit that. I think women, the feminists specifically, say, well, I won't submit unless he's a man. I'm like, you do realize that you literally cut their what's off. You say that's toxic masculinity. You break down the men. Of course, they're not going to be men. You made them that way, but you don't want to take responsibility for that. You know how easy it is to, how do I word this? I've dated great men and I've had strong values, and it's like never, and you shouldn't say anecdotal experience. However, I've also come in contact with a lot of men working at the bar, if you want to say that, but you enforce the values as a woman. Men take advantage of it because you allow them to. And that's something where it's like, but if you're going to be submissive to the right man, don't be submissive to every man. You're a hoe.
Of course, you're like, nobody will force you to be submissive to every single man that you see. That's like idiotic. That's idiotic. Because you're not forced to be in a relationship with every single man that you see.
Yes,
you can be feminine. Yeah, you can be feminine all time, but you will submit to your man.
But there's
Is that very difficult?
There's one thing though that I try to preach, and I hear a lot of women that say, I don't want to do wife duties for every man. And I always say, do wife duties for every man. Like, make it a part of you to be wife material. Don't just wait until he acts right. That's not feminine. That to me shows me that woman is masculine if it feels like a job. You know what I'm saying?
That's Transformers movie. To be shape-shifting from feminine to masculine based on the man that I'm dealing with. No, it does not work. That's multi-identity disorder.
Right. Did you watch my video?
No, I just know that. Like, it's multi-identity. I will show this feminine like attribution to this man, and I will show masculine attribution to the next one. When I go out of home, I will be so masculine. When I go back
I
home to
think
my no, it doesn't
I
work.
think they're
You're not
lying too.
shapeshifter.
I haven't seen the movie, but I know what you're saying. I know though when women say that they're not. I don't think they've ever been in a wife role. I really don't think they've ever been feminine. Like I'm like, okay, if you had a house party, let's say, or a get together, what is the first thing that you do when somebody enters the door? And she's like, oh, I'm probably cooking. I'm like, wrong. You ask them if they would like something to drink. Women literally don't know this. That's like a very small thing. People in the chat are probably like, this girl. I'm like, but you can tell when you ask women that question, they're trying to think of the politically correct answer. Like, what does a woman typically do? It's like, I'm cooking. It's like, wrong. You should have been doing that the whole day. But as soon as your first guest walks in, I could go on about that. That's a little bit of,
We have
I don't know.
some videos and some topics that we need to discuss here. Okay.
Go ahead.
Regarding the Western media and like lying about Arab in general, about Arab people and Muslim people, because you know that, like you live in the United States, you know what kind
We
of
don't know
bullshit,
shit.
what kind of bullshit that the media tells you, like tell the general public about the women's in the Middle East, like they're hanged like 24/7, they're being whipped. No, they don't.
They need to be flown out of the country, is what I've been hearing lately. I'm like, interesting.
I will show you. Hold a minute. I will show you. There is one of my tweet. I quoted some. The some of the WikiLeaks information. Let me show you. Share screen from tab. Okay.
Like
Here.
this video if you haven't liked it yet, people.
Yes, she's reminding you on my podcast that I forget. Okay. Do you see that? WikiLeaks, that's CIA report was giving recommendation for the European to use feminism to reduce Western opposition to military occupation of Afghanistan. Because you remember, like in the beginning of 2010, when they want to send army to Afghanistan, like the vast majority of general public was opposing that idea to send military to Afghanistan. So by the report leaked from the CIA, they was saying literally to target manipulation of public opinion into NATO ally countries, written by the CIA, to be to drawn like some sympathy toward Afghanis women. What do you think about
Why? That's crazy. How does this stuff get out? Like, I understand it becomes declassified, but don't they realize? I guess people are that brainwashed that they don't believe it. You know?
People, like general public, is easily manipulated.
Right.
Easily manipulated by the government. And here the CIA is playing with feminism as a puppet to change the general public opinion to support the military actions against like Afghanistan as a country, because people doesn't like it. People usually doesn't like war, doesn't like to send their sons to other countries, especially if that country is not like attacking you directly. Like to send our troops like around 5,000 miles away to attack someone else who live in village. No, they don't like that. to change like their collective awareness,
Yeah.
we have to connect it with emotion. Look at the Afghani woman. She can't work. She can't show her skin. She can't wear a bikini in public. She's oppressed. And
It's
people
not a
start to feel empathy
because
with
they can't be naked.
Afghan. Yes, that's what
That's
they're
fucking
preaching.
bizarre. That is bizarre. Since
Yeah.
when? Like, keep going. I'm sorry.
You're gonna explode, huh?
Yeah, it's just what? Why are we protesting naked? Rollo Tomassi always brings it up. Why do we have to use? Don't get me started on this one. Moving on.
Alaikum salam, brother Yusuf. You're most welcome, bro. Guys, like for the guys in the comments, like the priority is for the members and the super chat, guys. That's why I can't like take every single comment that you're commenting. Okay, getting back to this, like that will be very, very shocking, like even for you, Tori. Let me show you. Let me show you this.
We're at a new world order. Like this is not like guys that are tuning in right now with the stuff we're talking about. This is a very big deal. Like it's happening now. And if men aren't protesting like against it or doing what they do best, it's not looking good.
Yeah, let me show you this piece of news that was around like 4 days ago, 3 to 4 days ago. Do you see these girls? Do you see this woman?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know where is that and what is that?
No.
That was a graduation celebration out of universities in Afghanistan under Taliban provisioning for for women.
And they keep telling us the Taliban are making sure that they're not studying, like they're trying to take education away. They're trying to ruin the education infrastructure. Like that's what we hear. But they're graduating. They're ahead of me. Like what the fuck?
It says that in Arabic, like the girls is in the front. Look at first graduation, university graduation celebration in Afghanistan after Taliban took over. So it did not. The education did not stop. There's still women getting graduate and getting their bachelor degree, master degree in the same country, which is Afghanistan, under the ruling of Taliban. So that's shocking, right? Have you ever heard this in the American news?
No, but here's my concern with them in education. Like, what are the schools like? Because education's going to lead to what the Western countries are like. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying they should be stupid.
It is no mixing. Like they're adopting no mixing policies between females and males. So they're both getting educated, but not like together.
Yeah.
You got
and
me?
Then what about the teachers?
And the teachers like are like in the
university.
And no. They are redesigning like the programs,
curriculum.
Like, taking out of this like libertarian shits out of it.
Okay, good.
And keep the real knowledge. So
they need to do that.
Yeah,
it's a big deal because that's where it starts. Is the education. How many times did I say it in the beginning of this video where I heard everything that I was programmed was in school? They need to be serious about taking out the liberal whatever, turns into neoliberalism. I can't even say that. Like it gets very, very, they're going to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't want to say too much.
The main problem with the leftist libertarian agenda people in the West that they don't like how Taliban is doing it.
I know. And they're dumb because they're saying that based off of how they feel, but they don't see it as it's not just that. It's like structure, economics. It's such a big issue that I don't think they see it.
It's totally
Like,
different culture. If you think that you can give the same solution for two different
right.
civilization, you will be
Yeah.
idiot. It doesn't work.
Yeah.
They have different language, different culture, different religion, different
Right.
social structure. They live in a different dimension. Do not
And
give them your way of living, forcing
yeah.
it on them and think they're gonna accept it.
But they don't see how culture can be different and not like they just see everything one-sided, like black and white thinking. It's either all good, all bad, which is honestly a symptom of a very toxic personality disorder. Like they're delusional. But the thing is that I find interesting is all the feminists that I know really don't give a fuck about what's going on overseas, because if they really did, they would be able to see that there's different cultures, different, religions, so many different factors. But the fact that they're like, no, all countries should be like this, but they don't even take the time to learn the culture, just shows me that they're not speaking with intent, if that makes sense. I don't know. It annoys me. People don't understand culture.
I told you I lived in Dubai for many years.
Yeah.
And I met a lot of people from like over than 100 nationality, actually. Yeah. So I
Wow.
saw that. I saw that like the vast majority of people, when they come to Dubai, they will ask and they will be informed about the culture that they are coming in by even by their embassies. They will give them some brochures that you're not allowed to do this and that and that and that and that.
Yeah.
So, and there is a
Thank God.
very famous incident that happened in Dubai, which is around like 9 years ago. 9 years ago, like the police caught a British woman like having sex with her boyfriend on the beach, like on the public, like front of people. And
What happened to shame? Like, shame is a good thing. It keeps you from doing dumb shit. Okay, keep going.
Yeah, they took her under custody, the police, and she said, "No, I have freedom." They took around like few days, and the United Kingdom embassy sent their lawyers, and it was like a really big conflict.
Yeah.
They was trying to inform her that this is not acceptable here. If it's acceptable in London, in your country, that's okay. But here we have different rules.
It's
To
not
have sex,
really acceptable anywhere. Like it's illegal.
it can be okay, like in some of like the Western countries, and even if police catch them, like for example in a car or
they might
something,
let them go.
they will let them go. So she expected that she can get away with such thing in Arab Muslim country, and it was like a really big issue, and they got heated, like the diplomacy heated between the embassy and the like the interior ministry of UAE.
We
But
only hear about
she
like
cannot,
North Korea.
she cannot understand that this is not acceptable.
Right.
Really, like
I can't wait to Google this.
Sorry about that.
No,
The
no, it's a
Western
big deal.
the Western woman do not know how to hold herself accountable for her actions.
Right. We don't.
Yeah. That's why
I catch
I was
myself
so
doing it
fascinated
too.
when I saw your content, and I saw your
Yeah.
interview with Donovan Sharp. I said, "What? Really? Young blonde girl saying that she want a husband and she will be submissive and feminine and she understand that." I said,
Yeah.
"What? Really?"
They started a Reddit about me and how I'm a grifter, which Do you know what grift? Yeah, you know what it means, I'm sure.
Yeah, yeah.
But I'm like, first of all, I don't get paid. And second of all, I get alienated by my gender to talk about stuff like this. So, and I get a lot of men that get mad about it too. You know, guys that are actually red pill, they're never mad. It's the ones that are like white knight, or they're trying to get laid, so they feed the feminist narrative, and those are the ones that get so mad at me. And I'm just like, I have absolutely, well, I can't say there's no benefit to it. You could argue attention, right? Because women love attention. I definitely get attention from being the woman, so maybe subconsciously, but on like a conscious level, I feel like I'm making the worst decision speaking on this, to be honest with you.
Okay. I usually hear from a lot of Arabic girls which have some feminist tendencies, and some of them are undercover feminist. We call them in Arabic mutadathirat, which is undercover feminist. She will never tell you directly that I'm a feminist. I'm actually against feminist, but, and then she will tell you the feminist agenda.
No,
Like in an indirect way. Yeah. What do they say?
Everything.
Yeah. What do they say usually? I hear that a lot from them. Like, why are you criticizing like women wearing makeup? We do not wear makeup because of you guys. We wear makeup for ourselves.
Yes, we do. We're competing. If you're telling me right now, if no men were on this planet, would I put eyeliner on? No. Like, no. But you know what? They don't want to. That's where I was talking about that independence, confidence thing. I think women really lack self-esteem, and they don't want to admit that they do something so tedious and annoying, like putting makeup on for men. Like, it's not for men. I was like, you're a freaking liar. You are a liar. Yes, it makes me feel better about myself. Why? Because men give me the attention when my makeup looks bomb. You know?
Look, here's an Arabic female. Surprisingly, she's agreeing with you. They wear makeup for men.
Right. Okay, so correct me if I'm wrong.
Thank you, Sumaya.
Thank you. It's like, but they'll call me a pick-me-ass bitch for that. They're like, oh, you're just trying to please men. I was like, what about that?
Hold a minute. Let's hear what Jordan Peterson have to say about that.
Yes.
What do you think?
What is what do I think he's going to say?
What he's actually saying.
I bet you he's going to agree.
Avec tout ce qui se passe en ce moment, vous comprenez ce que les femmes peuvent ressentir quand elles vous entendent dire.
I'm sorry, this is by French. Okay, hold a minute.
French?
Yeah, that's French. Okay.
Somebody translate.
No. I have this on my channel actually. I have this in English on my channel. Let me find it out. Hold a minute.
I bet you he's gonna agree with me. I don't know. I haven't seen that. He looks young.
He will explain it in an undisputable way.
Always. That's why we love him. That's why we love him.
Yeah, hold on a minute. Here is it. Let me take this out. Okay, I'll share screen. This is on my channel. On my channel. Okay.
I gotta translate my videos in Arabic. I think I'm gonna do that after this.
Do you see that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. By the way, this this host is like very stupid leftist.
Is he a host? I thought it was just maybe a guest that came up. It looks very unprofessional.
No, he's host. He is host, but very leftist and idiot in the same time. Just okay. Listen.
Good.
Yeah.
What did you say?
Nothing. I'm just like true. Yeah.
Okay.
Why would that be a rule?
Why should you wear makeup in the workplace? Isn't that sexually? Why should you?
That's the question. That's the main question.
Yeah.
That was legendary. What do you think?
I've never seen that. First of all, was the host a guy or a girl? Because he was a
He was a
speaking
guy
like-
who looked like a girl.
well, the way that Jordan was saying is like, well, then why do you wear makeup? I was like, wait a minute. Like, am I confused? I don't know. There's 157 genders right now. Don't get me started. But no, he has a point. I wish he would have said that the high heel thing is because typically women with longer lines.
To turn the pelvic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And
that's
people will say that and be like, well, that goes back to whatever you wear doesn't mean that you're supposed to get raped, and that's victim blaming and blah, blah, blah. He makes a valid point. How you're going to argue that over here beats me. He argues it because people see Jordan, they're like, okay, he's got a point because he sees the research like that. But yes, that is sexually enticing.
He knows that
Seriously.
neurochemistry, neuropsychology, and behavioral psychology very well.
Mhm.
That he can prove his point, and he's like totally truth. Like it is the main purpose for the guys who even design the makeup on the makeup lines to prove like to increase sexual attractiveness. That's it. Do not tell me I'm putting it for myself.
No.
Okay,
No, we're
I
not.
can ask any woman. I can ask any woman. Will you put a makeup in the morning and be in the home for the rest of the day?
I mean,
No.
I do it. I do it.
Okay,
Right.
most probably no. Let's be real.
Right. Yeah.
They will
But
put makeup before they go out, like with 30 minutes.
You know what I find interesting? And I was thinking about that question in particular, actually, on my way here. And I was thinking about the mask. And so women were preaching on social media, I don't want to wear a mask, my freedom. Men too. We were all saying that. And then it turned to, well, actually, I like to wear the mask because it hides myself from men. And I'm like, okay, so can you admit that makeup is in fact, or just having your face shown is in fact going to attract men? You're telling me if we were covered head to toe, would people look at us? No. Why is that bad? Why is that bad? You know what I'm saying? Like, you shouldn't do that.
If you want attention, validation, and compliment, you have to show some skin.
They won't understand it. I was thinking to myself, like, okay, let's say I went overseas where women are typically in the whole hijab. That's how you say it. How do you say the whole outfit? What's the whole outfit?
It is all hijab, but if you mean like the face cover
With
here, it is niqab. Niqab.
Okay. So I was like, if I go somewhere where I wear that, what would I think right away when I get off the plane? Well, if I don't wear it, people would look at me. That's kind of fun. Like, that was my first thought. And this is me who does not like that. I was like, whoa, that is like the fact that women, I'm going to come off, I bet you I'm going to be a meme from the feminists right now. They're going to be like, no, I would cover up. And I'm like, but the first thought that you have is that, ooh, I would get attention. Like, well, first, like, that's not a good thing that we think that. I was like, hell no, I would definitely be culture, I would wear it every day. I wish we could, honestly, because I think what's happening is it goes into pair bonding and attracting men and getting men to not commit. And it's really like a big thing. And it all starts with that. I think I wish I could wear one, but if I wore one out here, I would be looked at like my husband beats me and hates me. That's what they see. when women wear the entire outfit. They're like, she's controlled, she's a slave. That's what they see. And it's like, no, you have the freedom to be nobody outside, which is a lot better. Trust me. I don't know if I'm just screaming nonsense.
Let me take this question away. Marlon, it's a very good question. But the feminist will say men should be able to control themselves. It is both desire. It is feminine desire for like starving for attention and compliment, sexual attention and compliment. So you have to use the same logic with women to tell her you have to be able to control yourself and not to give the man sexual display and to expect them not to be affected with it.
Yeah.
So it goes both way. If you want to
Yeah.
drop it on man, you have to drop it on women also.
But they won't accept it. That's the problem. They're like, well, first of all, they exaggerate. I won't go too much into this, but I know we can't say the R word. I say grape. Do you know what I'm saying? Okay. The stats that I've heard feminists view are so false. They're very false. So
1 in 5 women in the universities. Can you imagine that? Can you even imagine that?
I wouldn't send my kid to school if that were the case. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would not do that. That is a very high danger zone. People don't understand stats. It's like 1 in 5. It's like, well, why don't you teach the men? I'm like, you are asking.
That's higher than the war zone, by the way. That's higher than Syria a few years ago.
People don't get it. They really don't. They don't understand stats either. They really don't. And that's something that I'm like, for being an educated woman, that's a pretty important factor. People think 1 in 5 is like 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the rapist. It's like, no, it could be nobody that day. But then it could be the next day, they're all that 5. It's not just like 1, 2, 3, 4, that person. It doesn't work like that. So that's just a whole other thing. But they don't want to admit that while women can, this goes a little stretch, hear me out though, agreeableness. Women are more agreeable. That makes us better social interaction human beings, like on the 5-factor model. We can change through social constructivism. Is it right? Is it wrong? I don't know. Men do not work like that. So when we say that man is having a biological response, feminists will say, well, they need to learn how to control it. We are different, and that's okay. But telling somebody to not get aroused doesn't work like that. It might work for women because of that agreeableness and that ability to shape shift or whatever we were calling it. When you really
transformation,
yeah, but they don't want to. They're like, we want to change science. I'm like, you do realize we're on this planet to have babies and procreate.
It's like you're putting fire under an iron, and you're telling the iron, no, you're not supposed to be heated. What?
Right. Like, they don't realize that the only way that our population would go on to the next generation is because men get turned on, right? They want to plant their seed, right? Without men, our civilization would die. It wouldn't. So
that's deep.
I feel like I need a mic drop or something.
Yeah. Can you collaborate in that?
You want me to elaborate?
Feminists get very triggered when they hear that. Like, without our man, the civilization will die.
It's like, I could argue it, but now I just saw research come out that now you can have a baby without the presence of a male. They have now created something. I don't know what it is, but it's not like, oh, I can just get a donor and do this. It's not that. There's something else where they literally do not need sperm. They create something in the lab that's like hybrid. I'm like, you're telling me we literally don't need a man to have babies. That's how far this has gone. I don't know. How do I elaborate on it? I feel like it's such a woman thing to say.
I bet who created this is one of the men's.
Probably, I would say that. Probably, based on statistics, if we're going to talk about STEM careers, somebody in math, science, and thank you, Marlon. Like, if we're going to talk about that, based on statistics, we have a very large pool of men in those careers. The chances that a woman is in there creating something like, I bet you it's a white knight that created it. Somebody was like, let me just feed more of the feminist narrative. That why would they want to create something like that? We're not good parents. After the age, we talked about this yesterday. After the age of usually the very early infant months, after that, men make better fathers. So far, the single mothers aren't doing well. Look at our men. When you don't have a father in the household, men don't come out that well. They're usually in prison. They're not usually, but there's a large
teenage
statistic.
pregnancies.
Yeah. Teenage. What about it?
Teenage pregnancies, like it's 4 times more with the girls without father.
I'm not surprised. And you know what? The mom is probably encouraging it. Like, okay, I did it. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree. You know what my father would do? Kick me the fuck out if I did that. Out of wedlock.
Nobody can discipline children better than their biological father. Nobody else at all.
I know.
And you know why? Like, I will drop this. I never mentioned this before. Do you know why children are more safe with single father than single mother?
Oh my God, there's multi reasons, but go ahead.
The biological bond between the man and the children, it will limitize his power. Even if you try to hit them, he will never hit them to hurt them. He will hit them to discipline them.
Yes.
There's two different, like it's two totally different. Like the disciplinary, like bite, or like beating them to discipline them, and beating them like to hurt them. Really?
Yeah. You got to have a little spanking.
Yeah, the string between these two both is the biological bonding, because even the father will never handle someone else's kid like his kid.
He's gonna be a bitch. They're like the betas. My computer, I don't know if it says low battery, guys. If I disappear, because my computer died.
Need a few minutes? Okay, let's catch one of the videos.
Okay.
For Karen Strawn. Karen Strawn was talking about feminism and Islam in general, and commenting on Zara Faris. Like, let's hear it.
Now, I watched a video not too long ago where a Muslim woman named Zara Faris in London used this very state of affairs as an argument as to why Muslim women do not need feminism. According to her, Islamic law does not specifically prohibit women from working.
First of all, do you know that Islam does not prohibit women from working?
Yeah, you told me that.
Is that was surprise for you?
It was. I was like, I thought they couldn't. I thought that you had to ask permission from, like, husband. That's what I thought.
They need the permission, but they can work. It is not prohibited by the religion. There is no script says she can't work at all. There's no such thing.
Okay.
She can work, but like there is some rules If she
Right.
want to work, there is some rules. Like she have
Yeah.
to be modest, like to not be
Yeah.
mixed a lot with men. Like
Yeah.
her husband have to approve for it, like not to throw like 2 years
They
old
should.
baby and go to work. Come
Yeah.
on, no, he need you.
Yeah. Like women don't realize, you know, they don't realize a lot, but most women don't want to go back to work once they have a child. So it's like even when we hear these things, like, did you know that women are allowed jobs? It's like, even that, like, you don't want to work. Trust me. It's like you don't want it. But no, like when you told me that, I was shocked. I remember I was like, oh, the way that they make it seem, it's like they're suffering over there. They need us to come and get them. That's what it seems like.
You never been to the Middle East, right?
No,
If you visit Middle East, you will be surprised. Like
I probably would love it.
a lot of information will be like dramatically changed, like on your mind.
Yeah, there's probably still stuff that I think that I'm not aware of at this moment that is probably not true. Like, are women unhappy over there? Like, seriously unhappy?
Let's pull the gender gap. The gender gap in okay, hold a minute. I got that in my website, the gender mental health gap.
Okay.
Hold a
Need
minute.
that.
I will show you. You will be surprised. The most unstable and unhappy like woman
Are working.
is in the Western world, not in the Middle East.
Of course.
Yeah, hold a minute. Let me.
Imagine growing up with tradition like that you guys have in the culture, and then being. That's how I felt. I was like, everybody's telling me to be a career woman, and my mother's telling me to be a home maker.
Yeah, check this out. Do you see?
Okay.
Do you see it?
Uh-huh.
Okay, this report is about the gender gap in adolescents' mental health across national investigation of 566,000 adolescents across 73 countries. You got me?
Okay. Yep.
Yeah. So here we can find like there is. Let me find out
I feel like that's us alone in the U.S.
the graphic. I will check the graphic. Yeah. Where is it? Yeah. Okay, the psychological distress, the life dissatisfaction. Okay, let's check the life dissatisfaction. I can't. Okay, let's check the PDF. You can see the PDF right now, right? Okay.
No.
Let me share. Let me share it. Oh no, not this one. Hold a minute. Taking a lot of time.
If I die, I'm so sorry.
Okay, here is it. Let's okay. Let's check here the life. I'm sorry. Life satisfaction. I can't see. Unfortunately, I can't read the countries, but the first one was here, like having the biggest gap in the mental health and like life satisfaction was in Sweden.
Really? Isn't
Yeah.
that one of the most egalitarian countries?
Yeah.
That's proof.
Is.
That's
It
proof.
is. It is most egalitarian country, and the females in that society have the biggest gap toward worse mental health and life satisfaction.
But yet they're the most equal. Now, what does that tell you? Like, being equal, it's a very touchy subject. We have so
Yeah,
much to talk about. I feel like we're going to have to do this a lot.
yeah.
Yeah,
Muslim.
I'm so sorry.
Are you good? Okay. Can we grab some of the last video before you die?
It's
Your
at
laptop
5%.
died. Sorry. Okay.
Yeah, we can try.
Okay.
Work under Islamic law, but they need not share their earned income with their families.
You have to know that also, that if woman is working, she's entitled to 100% of her salary with zero obligation toward her children or the house family or her father or mother family. She had
Wow,
zero obligation.
that's crazy.
She can literally spend whole of her salary on chocolate, and nobody can ask her why.
That's kind of weird.
Yeah,
I
that
don't
like
know. Like if you're
100%.
married,
100% of the financial obligation is on man in Islam. 100%. I'm not allowed to ask my female partner or wife like for even $10. I'm not allowed to ask her.
I feel like you could get away with that though, right? I feel like you could.
Yeah, when I used to tell like the European, especially West European women about like what is the privileges for the Muslim woman, like a lot of them will say, "Oh, we would like to have that."
Yeah.
They're surprised
Like she could
because
be planning an escape trap if she wanted to. If she really felt like she was so scared, like the US makes it seem, she could make all this money and tell no one about it and then leave. But they're
yeah,
not doing that. So that says a lot.
we don't have that concept that female should earn for herself to be living with a family or living with anyone else. Because
I
like
wish it was like that.
when she got born, since she got born until she dies, her food, shelter, clothes, and bills should be paid by men
Right.
since day one
That's
until
how
last
it
day.
should be.
Mm.
But you know, like people will say, we're property. We're owned by the men. That's what they would say. It's
Mm.
like, okay, you're gonna die alone. Have fun.
Yeah, buy a dog. That's why we're investing in like cats' food, pets'
Yeah.
food.
You guys, we're investing in that fertility clinic.
Hmm.
I'm telling you now, we're gonna have a lot of old bitches wanting kids. Excuse my language. And that, and that's it. That's all I think. Cat
Hmm.
food and that.
Cat food and fertility clinics.
Yep. Because
Yeah,
they still want to be able to have the choice, no matter what age, to carry the child.
yeah.
That's
Sperm
very
do-
selfish.
sperm donation is prohibited in Islam, by the way. You can't. I can't give away my sperm. I can't, because that's
You
like
shouldn't.
unique DNA, like unique DNA, and let's say family line, let's say
Yeah.
inherited line of DNA that belong to my family. I'm not giving it away to anyone. No.
Yeah, it's kind of weird when you think about it too, to have little yous walking around and they don't even know that you're their father type thing. Like, it's weird.
Hmm.
You shouldn't
Oh,
give it away.
yeah. No, well, never. Okay. Let's get back to Karen Strawn.
I'm at 2%.
Basically,
Sorry.
I'm at 2%.
Yeah.
Just heads up.
Last part.
if a Muslim woman has a job, the money she earns is hers and hers alone, while her husband remains obligated to provide any and all economic support for the family, including the necessities his working wife requires. Now, I work with a man from Lebanon who confirmed that aspect of things for me. He has a wife and 5 children, and he works 2 jobs to support them. His wife stays at home, and that's exactly where he wants her. Not because he's a dominating, repressive.
Okay. Let's stop that because you have just 2%, and I want to chill.
1%.
1%. Guys, thank you very much, Tori, to be with me today. And what day?
What day?
Wednesday?
Wednesday. You're going to be on my show.
Yeah, Wednesday, guys. I'm gonna be on Tori show, like on her channel. Like the link is in description for Tori channel on YouTube. You can find me that.
Subscribe.
And you, yeah, subscribe.
Yeah.
Come on, guys. Like who really get understand English. Like Tori have a really good content there. Like you can follow her for that. It's
Thank
first
you
time
for
that
having me.
it's first time that I'm recommending a female content creator on my channel.
The only one.
Yeah,
Don't forget it.
it is. It is. It
Yeah,
is.
so we're going to have to pick a topic for Wednesday. So if you guys want to comment below, we're going to be reading those, and then we'll decide what the topic is based on your guys' suggestions.
Thank you very much, Tori, for this. Like
Thank you.
I believe we should do more of that, because
Once
there's a
a
lot
week.
of points that we did not also reach or comment on.
Yes, we'll do more. Don't worry. I'll get another charger.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you so much.
You're most welcome, dear. Thank you very much, and thank you very much,
Okay.
everybody, for joining in. Hit the like button, guys. We lost Tori. Yeah, we lost Tori. Hit the like button, guys. The subscribe button. Yeah, we lost her. Thank you very much. Thank you, Rajul. Thank you, Marlon. Thank you, Seek Facts, everyone. You're most welcome, and Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. You'll find me يوم الأربعاء على قناة تورشا Tori Grow. Thank you, guys. Assalamu alaikum.